What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today we got the game recap between the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants. The Bears fall to the New York Giants at MetLife 20-12 and are now 2-2 on the season. And it was really a very disappointing game overall. I think the Bears really had a shot before this game, but overall they really disappointed today. Offensively, not a lot of things were going on. The red zone offense really was horrendous, as well as the defense just got ran over once again. And then special teams looked solid, but obviously there was one crucial play at the end of the game. So lots to get into. And with that being said, let's start off with the first phase of a football game, which is obviously the offense. I think the offensive performance overall was really poor. The Bears tried to pound the rock a lot with Khalil Herbert today, and I think for the most part it was actually working for them. But overall, I think it's just once again, and it sounds stupid, but it's once again execution from the offense. It's either Luke Getzing drawing up a good play and the offense not executing, if it's Justin Fields, if it's the receivers not getting open, if it's the offensive line, or then at times also Luke Getzey just getting some very questionable calls in there just on third down, second down. I mean, the passing game for me overall, or the entire play calling for me, is too obvious at that point. I think they sprinkled in the PA rollouts better in there today. I think they really overused that the last weeks, but today they used it a bit better, ran the ball, and then just got it in there a couple of times, but didn't really overuse it. But as for the rest of the play calls, it's lots of pass on first down, run on second down, on second and long, because on first and 10 we didn't get any yards because Justin Fields was pressured or something else was getting wrong. So we ran it on second and long, did not get a lot of yards. I think the Bears did an okay job at converting the third downs today overall. That was kind of surprising to me, but still the execution and just the plays overall weren't great for the Bears today. As for our quarterback, Justin Fields, he went 11 for 22, 174 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 6 times he was sacked today. And I mean, he had definitely a bit of a bounce back game against the Texans. He threw 2 interceptions, did not really look accurate. That changed today for me. I mean, him and Darnell Mooney really showed their connection today. Had that beautiful deep drop right into the bucket for 56 yards to Mooney. And then also earlier, he had a really nice fastball into Mooney's chest. Perfectly placed, great read. Looked a bit more decisive this week. And we will have to wait and see in the film room how he actually did. I mean, it's obviously the first reaction at the moment, but like I said, I think he did better today. Also used his legs a lot, went 7 carries, 52 yards overall. So I think it definitely a better performance by him, but today the supporting cast was really poor for him. I mean, moving on to the 6 sacks, the offensive line today in the pass pro really struggled today. I mean, obviously it was expected that Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator by the Giants, will bring some different pass rush blitzes or some different packages at the Bears, but they really struggled to pick it up. They rushed 2 linebackers a lot, and I don't know if it was the play call or the receivers or Justin Fields not finding them quick enough, but overall the Bears struggled with these 2 linebacker blitzes. Obviously one was picked up by the running back, and I think Khalil Herbert did a good job at that, but he just can't pick up 2 guys at the same time, obviously. So they really found the soft spot of the Bears offensive line. They struggled today. In the run game, they still made some things happen. I mean, we're talking about 32 runs, 149 yards overall for the offense, 4.7 yards per carry. So that is still impressive. But in the past game, they definitely need to step it up. I think they got constantly better over the first 3 weeks, but now it was definitely a step back against the Giants. As for the run game overall, I think Khalil Herbert, 19 carries, 77 yards, and 4.1 yards per carry, had a pretty damn good day. I mean, the Giants were focusing on stuffing the run, which was expected. They did that for most of the game, but Herbert really could break some runs out there, had a 15-yard run that looked pretty solid, and he broke some tackles and made the most out of his opportunities. As for Treston Ebner, he was looking okay out there, but he was not doing anything special. As for the wide receivers, I think the receiving game for the Bears was better today. Darnell Mooney, really liked what I saw out of him at the first look so far. 4 receptions, 94 yards, got some big plays going, made some crucial catches. That 56-yard catch was beautiful. A great adjustment to the ball. And then also I think Khalil Herbert with that long third down conversion for 24 yards looked good. Really like that screen call in this one. Cole Kmet caught some good passes for 16 yards overall, 3 catches for him. And also Trayvon Wesco was in there with a 23-yard catch. Really like this one. Also like the throw by Justin Fields right there. Just had to change the arm angle, put the sidearm in, and made a good throw to Wesco right there. So the receivers stepped up, but we still have to look at the film and see what really actually happened, because there were lots of times where it also looked like they were locked down. EQ had a quiet game. Also Dante Pettis dropped. I would say it was a drop that just fade route to him. Back shoulder throw by Justin Fields. He made a beautiful throw. Just Dante Pettis couldn't reel it in. So overall, I think the receiving game still needs to get better, but we had some improvements, some deeper completions, so liked seeing that. But obviously it was not enough. As for a quick little conclusion for the entire offense, like I said, it was just the execution that was missing the entire day. It just seems like it's not clicking for the Bears on offense at the moment. Nobody seems to be on the same page, and it just needs to get better over the next weeks. Hopefully it does, but let's see how that overall develops. As for the Bears defense today, I think they did actually a pretty solid job. They allowed some points early on like they used to do now, with 14 points in the first 2 quarters, but then bounced back in the second half, only allowing 6 points, and they're still continuing to hold the stretch of not allowing a second half touchdown. So I think that is impressive, but overall it was still a pretty rough day as well. I mean, rushing the ball, the Giants absolutely destroyed us. We knew it going in. Saquon Barkley was going to have a good game, but overall 44 rushes, 262 yards, 6 rushes a carry, 2 touchdowns allowed by Daniel Jones. I mean, the Bears were undisciplined in the first half, especially. They got better in the second half, like I said, but first half, they really got us with the bootlegs. It was way too easy for them. Daniel Jones had all the room he wanted, and then Saquon Barkley was just making some magic happen on there as well. I mean, they ran the ball down our throats, and it's now the 3rd game I think the Bears have allowed over 170 rushing yards, or 75 rushing yards, something like that. I saw statistics, so it's not looking great for the Bears' run defense, as also for the pass rush. It was not there today. The quarterbacks for the New York Giants weren't sacked besides once, and it was a safety, Jaquan Brisker. So the defensive edge rushers really have to step it up. Robert Quinn, Travis Gibson, El-Quadin Muhammad, Dom Rob. I think we have a good rotation there. I just don't know what happened to them. They really haven't done any great things over the last 2 weeks now against the Texans and the Giants. I thought those were 2 teams where they really could have some good games in there, but nobody of them really showed up. And I mean, in the run game, it looked just absolutely horrible. From defensive line to linebackers to secondary, it was not really good. The edges weren't set properly. That didn't look good. And then just also the tackling was not there. I mean, that 3rd and long run or screen to Saquon Barkley where Nicholas Morrow just missed a tackle and Barkley broke out a first down run. This was a really tough one. I think the Giants scored a touchdown after that as well. So they definitely have to step it up, especially in the first 2 quarters. Second half, they got better. They made some proper tackles. I think Eddie Jackson looked really good overall today. Had a pass deflection that was beautifully done by him, and also made some secure tackles. I think Roquan Smith also was underrated today. As soon as the defense struggles, everybody's pointing at him, but he had 10 total tackles. He made some good ones in there. He also got juked out by Tyrod Taylor, which it happens. I mean, obviously you want to see him make that tackle, but overall he had still a solid game. And also I think Jaquan Brisker, who struggled in the first half with reading those PA rollouts, he got better in the second half, got the sack in there, so he definitely bounced back in that game as well. But then when we look at the pass defense, I mean, also we have to mention Kyler Gordon. He once again struggled, let some pass plays happen or big plays happen for the passing attack of the Giants against some okay wide receivers, nothing too special for them, but he really got beat once again, and he's making a big mistake each and every game so far. So it's really at a point where you should worry about it a bit, because it's a big play allowed every single game so far. So that's not looking too great, but at the same time, he is still playing a tough position. So let's not overreact. Let's judge him after the season. But right now, he's definitely struggling, as well as Jalen Jones, the replacement of Jalen Johnson, who did not play today. He was also struggling and gave up some completions. So the absence of Jalen Johnson is definitely felt today, or was definitely felt today. So we need him back ASAP. As for the entire defense, just they need to get better at stuffing the run, just staying true to their gaps, win their one-on-one matchups and also set the edge. Safeties, cornerbacks that really looked horrible today. And against the pass, like I said, they did okay. It was not really a pass-heavy game for the Giants. They only passed it 16 times overall, so it's really hard to judge them, but they really need to get better at it. But still, made some turnovers happen as well in there. I really love the interception by Eddie Jackson. Definitely have to mention that as well. Eddie Jackson looks like his old self. He's making plays out there. Really incredible over-the-shoulder catch by him on that interception. So I really love what he's doing so far. He's definitely one of our best players on defense right now. Probably the best, because he's making some plays on the footballs, has already 3 interceptions so far this season, so really love what he's doing. And he's also become a way better tackler. Like, he saved some touchdowns today that was really incredible as well. And I mean, overall, I like the bounce back. And not allowing a touchdown still in the second half is still incredible. I mean, we're talking about 20 allowed points. The offense should just be able to beat that, right? I mean, 20 points should be enough for a defense, or should be enough for an offense to outscore, but the Bears were just not able to do that. And then we just have to quickly talk about special teams. I think Trenton Gill had an outstanding game. He punted some really good balls, had them pinned down in their own 23 times on 5 punts. Really good, 52.8 yard average, really good. And also Michael Badgley, the just signed kicker after Cairo was being ruled out, went 4 for 4 overall, with the longest being a 40-yard field goal. He was responsible for all the 12 points, so great performance by him. And then Velus Jones Jr., please stop the hate for him. He was out for all of the regular season so far. He went back, had to return the kicks. Yes, he had the fumble right there, but he also had a really good punt return in there as well that set up a nice field position for the Bears overall. I mean, it's the first game of his. We didn't deserve to win that game anyway, so it's just a rookie mistake that happens, but I won't blame him on that at all. Let's just calm down a bit. I mean, nobody was expecting the Bears to have a great season. I think it's really a surprise the Bears are 2-2 at the moment nonetheless, so I'm just happy how the season turned out so far, but today was really a horrible game by the Bears. We just want to see some development, and I understand the frustration by Bears fans. Just get them a bit more time, because the offense is not clicking at the moment. Let's see how they bounce back the next week and the week after, how they can hopefully find a rhythm on offense and just get all on the same page. If they're not there after 17 weeks, we definitely have to worry about it. But right now, we're after week 4, we're going into week 5, so let's calm down a bit and just focus on next week and see what they do. And with that being said, that already wraps up today's game recap. Overall, like I said, not a great performance by the team. Poor coaching, poor execution, especially on offense. They need to get better, but let's focus on next week. And like I said, definitely check out my film room episode later this week. This will probably be really interesting to see who is actually at fault for this game and how Justin Fields has to improve, how the running attack has to improve, even though they're pretty good, and especially also how are the wide receivers doing. So definitely check that one out. And with that being said, like and subscribe if you like the video. Check out Instagram and Twitter if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.